education. We all know it, and being the eve of the day that many people go back to school tomorrow, it's quite a nuisance most of the time. And I've got some thoughts for you guys that many people will agree for, and this is based on the education system in the UK, but it might be the same in other places around the world. It should be the same in many other places. Now, at the particular school I go to, education's taken very seriously. It's a very academic school, but I've had so many ideas of how to make it better. Because, guys, how many of you have often been in a lesson for whatever particular subject it is, and you've thought to yourself, hang on, it's all very well and good learning this subject now, but I know for a fact that I'm never going to use this subject again in my life. And there should be things to change that. There should be other things in place, or other different types of lessons you could do to fill up the hour slot for that lesson. There should be other things that you should be able to do that you'd enjoy more, get a better grade in, and then find more useful later on in life. For example, at our school, when you join, you have to learn Latin. It's compulsory. You have to learn Latin for 3 years. Well, for every lesson at our school, you have a 1 hour slot for each lesson. And then you have sports after school and so on certain days, and you have matches on Saturdays and so on. So it's a pretty tough schedule for anybody's standards. And I have to be up before 7 o'clock in the morning. There are some days when I'm home at 7 in the evening. So it can be 12-hour days, and it's pretty tough. And a lot is expected of you. You're expected to get the very highest of grades at my particular school. But anywhere you go to, you want to do well, I suppose, as well. But if you have to do Latin for the first 3 years of a school, or of your school life, and you say struggle in maths, like for me, I personally struggle in maths, wouldn't you rather have an extra math lesson, or an extra 2 math lessons a week, instead of that Latin lesson, because you know you're never going to do Latin or use Latin again in your life? Now, obviously, many people don't know what they want to do that early on, but there should be, everyone has a rough idea of what they want to do from an early age. I mean, forget people in junior school, infant school, whatever you guys want to call it, and they say, oh, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman. You then get in secondary school, and then or what we call it secondary school here, high school in the US, and you then get people saying, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a consultant, I want to be a dentist, I want to be a dermatologist, whatever it might be. I want to be an investment banker is a very common one. And you then start thinking about the money involved in each job. And obviously, with each job you want to do, there are specific skill sets that you need to learn. So instead, I don't know, for me, what I want to do when I'm older is to be a lawyer. Now, I'm never going to learn about genealogy for biology when I want to be a lawyer. So, I'm not saying they should cut back on those subjects, but you shouldn't be forced to take exams in those subjects at this particular age. Yes, you should learn the basics of the subjects early on, but then in the year I am at the moment, the age with 15, 16-year-olds and so on, you should be able to do different subjects. What I mean about that is, if you want to be a lawyer like I want to do, for example, I'm very good at English and history already. I mean, I'm good at those subjects, and that obviously comes into a lot of use at law. But then you also have to be good at other things like debating. Now, I'm really good at debating, but imagine if instead of a biology lesson a week, because I know for a fact already I'm bad at the sciences pretty much, and I'm really good at the Englishes and the histories and geography and those sorts of subjects. And I'm really bad at maths and sciences, like really bad. I just can't do them at all. Physics I'm alright at, but chemistry and biology, God no. But imagine if instead of a chemistry or biology lesson or a math lesson a week, maybe not maths, because maths is important for pretty much whatever you want to do, but instead of a biology lesson a week where you're learning about sexual reproduction in plants and some really boring shit like that, where it's really annoying, you know you're never going to use it again. Imagine if you could have a debating lesson, for example. Or if you wanted to be, I don't know, an investment banker, some specific computer skill sets that you might need to use, or just things like that. Now, for sixth form, I want you, at our school, for example, you have to pick 4 subjects, and then after the first year, you can drop one. So I already know what I want to do. I want to do English literature, politics, and history. And then, obviously, for a 4th one, I'm going to choose something else. I might choose geography, I might choose Spanish, for example. I'm fairly good at languages as well. I mean, they should, if I want to do politics next year, why can't I start learning it this year when I would spend so much time and effort looking at all of the stuff, instead of learning biology when you've got to get a good grade in the exam that we've got to take at the end of the year for it, and in the exam that I've got to take in a few days for it. I mean, we've got to learn these subjects early on, but surely if you want to do a completely different thing when you're older, then surely you should be able to learn the subjects that you're passionate about and that will end up getting you the job. Because so many people will spend so much time on subjects that they cannot just grasp, like, they just can't grasp. If you look at a question for 7 hours, you still can't get it. You should be allowed to do something else. Now, obviously, you have to do subjects like PE and so on. That's good for your health. I mean, I'm not some obese guy that sits in my mum's basement lizard squad, but I'm not some guy that does that. Definitely not. Obviously, you have to have subjects like that, and you have to be involved in sports and so on. I understand that completely. But if you just didn't have to take, for an example, one science exam, when you know you could sign a form saying, I hereby declare that I could be whatever, I could be reducing the chances of getting a specific job in the future. But if you know what you want to do when you're older, why can't you sign a form or put a point forward that you want to do a subject that will help you get that job when you're older? I mean, that will sort out unemployment rates and so on, because if people are at school, they could be put off by education completely if they have to learn subjects that they completely hate. They might be put off going to university if they're learning subjects that they really hate. There are so many subjects out there that people want to do, but they just they just don't have the opportunity to. Now, for example, at my school, you have loads of subjects that you can do. But these subjects are only available to the sixth formers, what we call sixth formers, people in the year group with 17 to 18 year olds, the final year of secondary school. And they can only do that after they've done the exams in the 3 sciences. And at my school, French is compulsory as well. I'm not going to be using French when I'm older for what I want to do, being a lawyer. I'm not going to use French unless I'm in some French law court, and even then they'll speak English. English is the most widely spoken language in the world, followed by Spanish, and I also learned Spanish, and I might continue that next year, I don't know, but I'll have to decide. But you should learn what you want to do from a fairly early age. For the first couple years in secondary school, learn the sciences and so on, and then when you get to about the age of 14, you'll roughly know, or 14 or 15, you'll pretty much know what you want to do when you're older, because guess what? You're going to have to be making up your mind about what you want to do in the next year. At the end of this year, we've got to decide what we want to do next year before we've even taken our exams. You don't know what you've got in your exams, and they're asking you to pick what you want to do next year. And obviously those subjects that you pick to do will affect your future. So what I want to be doing now is learning debating, learning politics, and doing more English, rather than sitting in a classroom learning about genealogy and sexual reproduction in plants and biology. It's so frustrating learning about that when I'm thinking, why can't I be in a politics classroom? Because I want to do law when I'm older, my mind's firmly set. But I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay commentary. Let me know down below what you think, as always. I know many people will agree with me, many people will disagree. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Slightly different video for you guys today, and I'll see you guys over on the next one.